Let's see. So, hello everybody. We're going to get started here in a few minutes when we have enough people here. In the meantime, I'm going to listen to a song while we wait. Carlos is starting early. What is it, Carlos? Let's see. Can you explain when someone calls somebody else a lot lizard? Where did you see that? Can we shake it? From your book, Nothing Short of Dying. Okay. It's not something I'm super familiar with, Carlos. I've never heard that term before, but I can probably guess what it might mean, but let me just check. That's what I thought. Yeah. A lot lizard means a person who works on the street selling their body. Okay? I'll try to say that in the most tactful way possible. Yeah, so that's what a lot lizard is. A lot means like a parking lot. Okay? And lizards sometimes hang out in parking lots because the sun. Right? There's some sun, it's warm on the concrete, so sometimes there's little lizards that like the hot concrete. So it's a figurative term that's used to talk about prostitutes. Hello, Muhammad. Hello, Gaia. Hello, Dollar. Thank you for the gifts, everyone. Hello, Layla. Ahmad, it's not one you need to learn. It's a slang term, and I've never ever heard it before until now. So if I have never heard it and I did not know what it is, you don't need it. Okay? And the meaning, you definitely don't need it. Okay? So I'm not going to repeat it because you don't need it. Okay? Well, it's not that you shouldn't learn slang. I don't usually teach slang, but that slang, Ahmad, is extremely, extremely uncommon and rare, and the circumstances where you would use it are very rare also. So because the circumstances are rare and because it is rare, you don't need it. Okay? Thank you, Nisho. So I think I am getting a little cold, so I'm sorry if I'm going to cough a little bit and blow my nose occasionally. But I'll try not to do it into the microphone. Ahmad, I can't look now, but maybe I can look later. However, Ahmad, try to remember that I have 88,000 followers here, so I can't answer messages from everyone. Okay? I get a lot of messages. All right? Okay, so Ahmad, how many times have you been to my room? Is this your first time today? I think I've seen you before. No? You want to, well, Ahmad, again. Okay, so many times. So I'm going to take a guess what it's about. And I get that message a lot too. And I'm sorry, but if it's about changing my price, I can't change my price. Okay? My price has to be my price. It's just the way it is. I have been teaching for more than half my life. I have been teaching probably longer than you have been living. So, I can't lower my price. I'm sorry. Okay? But that's why I do these here, Ahmad. So if you want me to be your teacher, but you can't afford it, then you have to come here and you have to try to do the best you can with my free live streams. That's why I do them, because I'm trying to help as many people as I can, but I also need to eat. So that means I need to get paid. All right? And when I get paid, I have to get paid the price that you get paid here. All right? I understand that the price that I charge is expensive in many places in the world. I do understand that. But I also understand that that's what it costs here. Economics get a little tricky internationally. Okay? Let me check my YouTube over here. Hello to my YouTube people. You're reporting me for not letting you up. Guess what? I don't have to let anyone up. 1. 2, I have been here for 12 years, man. I know the CEO. So please report me. We'll have a nice laugh about it. 3, why do you think that you're just supposed to be allowed to come up? No. 我不要为什么 Okay? No. 我感觉如果你可以听我，你可以看我，不是说话。Okay? 我不要。And, by the way, you said you're going to report me. All right. Fine. Do it. So many recently. I don't know what's the deal with Hello Talk recently. There are a lot of trolls recently on Hello Talk. What's with all the trolls? It's weird. Recently, just the last week or two, all of a sudden a bunch of, dummies. Clark, how can you think in English? Clark, how do you think in Hindi? It's the same. So, Clark, when you started thinking in Hindi, when you were a baby, did you think about really complicated things when you were a baby? Or did you think about very simple things? He was joking, probably. Maybe. But guess what, Fred? There was another guy the other day who thought he was joking too, and he was saying something rude to me, and I said it was rude. This is part of language. When you learn language, if you're going to talk to somebody from another country, you need to remember that the culture that you have doesn't work everywhere. That doesn't work everywhere, right? So it might be funny where you live, but that doesn't mean it's funny everywhere. That's one. And two, I know that it doesn't seem like it, but this is a classroom. So all I expect is for anybody who is here to act like you are in a classroom. And when you are in a classroom, you don't make memes and jokes, and you don't talk rudely to the teacher. Okay? And I know Chinese culture, and in Chinese culture, I know you're not supposed to be like that in any Chinese classroom. I know, because I have taught there. So, I understand that there are cultural differences and misunderstandings do happen. But this is my room, and I run the show. 我是老班. That's right. This is not a meme room. Do you know why this is not a meme room? I'll tell you one very simple why. There's one good reason why this is not a meme room. Because I am an adult. That's why this is not a meme room. Okay? I know memes. I do know them. Of course I know them. I even know where the word comes from. Do you know where the word comes from? But I do. But memes are not, let's put it this way. Smart people, you don't see a lot of smart people using them. Why? Because almost all memes are something we call the straw man argument. Almost all of them are a straw man argument. You're making a ridiculous statement with a picture of some sort and some sort of quote that goes with the picture. And it's supposed to be bold, and it's supposed to be sarcastic or poignant. It's supposed to make a point. But it's mostly just garbage. It's mostly just garbage. You thought memes are pictures only and exclusively. No, they started that way. But no, at this point, memes are anything that is used to send a political or social, cultural message with a picture. That would be my definition of a meme. Memetics. Yeah, even the definition here says an image, a video, or a piece of text, usually humorous in nature. But let's just put it this way. Are all jokes funny? Are all jokes funny? Is every joke funny? Nah. No, they're not. Some jokes are not funny. Why did the chicken cross the road? To get to the other side. That's not funny. It's never been funny. So, the point is, I don't laugh at every joke, because not all jokes are funny. I don't laugh at every meme, because most memes are not funny. And most memes are just stupid, they're silly, they're immature, they're childish. And that's what I mean when I say I am an adult. If I want to say something about a topic, then I will use my words and my face to do it. I won't make a little picture and think I'm cute. That's immature and childish. Okay? If you spend a lot of time making memes, you need to rethink your time. Okay, next question. Let's talk about something that's real, okay? No more garbage stuff about memes and whatever. Okay? So, Clark was asking, how do we think in English? And he said it's very easy. But my point, Clark, is when you're a baby, babies don't think about microbiology. Babies are not thinking about economics. Babies are not thinking about international trade. What are babies thinking about? Very, very simple things. So that's what you need to start with too. Don't try to think in English about economics. Don't try to think in English about politics or religion or philosophy. Try to think in English about, I like that. I don't like that. That's funny. I'm hungry. That's easy. So do it. Start simple. Okay? What's the difference between complicated and difficult? Difficult has a bigger meaning, Dima. So I would say all complicated things are difficult, but not all difficult things are complicated. So, for example, maybe the word difficult, I could use it and say this is a difficult test, a math test. It's a difficult math test. But I could also use the word difficult. Maybe I have a key and a lock, and I'm trying to get the key to make the lock work, right? But it's difficult. It's not working. It's hard. I can't do it. That's also difficult, but it's not complicated. There's nothing complicated about it. It's simple. You're using a key and a lock, right? So the word difficult can mean it requires more effort somehow. And that can be mental effort or physical effort or spiritual effort, any kind of effort. That's difficult. Complicated means it has many steps. Okay, like, and it's very difficult to understand because there's so many steps and there's so many things to look at, and it's hard to, if you get a new computer and you have a book about the computer and the book is 3,000 pages, that's complicated. That's a lot. Okay? But if you have a book with 10 pages, that's simple. All right? All right, next. Can I teach you etymology? I would love to. I'll tell you what, I didn't prepare anything, though, for today for etymology. So how about this? Why don't you give me either a topic for etymology or a root for etymology, or what's another thing that you could give me? A topic, a root, or a word. You can just give me a word. If there's a word you want to know where this word comes from, okay? But a topic would be better, because then I can look for many words, or a root. Okay, Prince Olia, I'm sorry. Right now I'm not talking to anybody. I'm sorry. I'm teaching. Okay? What about complicated and complex? Those are about the same. Chapadodis. Okay? Let me check one thing. The beginning of those COMP, that's the same root, Fred. That's the same root. So let's see. Complicated. Complicated. Oh, wrong thing. Wait. Comp. All right, so composed of interconnected parts, not simple. That's the early definition from the 1640s of complicated. Not easy to solve, intricate, confusing, difficult to explain or understand. So, complicated comes from the word complicate. So, com means together, and placate, the placare, comes from to weave. To weave means to like make clothing, where you take the fibers and you work the fibers in a certain order. That's called weaving, right? So weaving is complicated, right? It's interconnected parts, okay? So that's complicated, but let me look at complex and see what's the difference in the ending. So that one comes from the Latin word complexus, meaning, interesting. Com and plectere, meaning to weave again. So it's interesting because the original meanings, I was hoping the original meaning of these words would be a little different so that you could know what's the difference between them. But actually, it's kind of funny. The modern meaning and the original meaning of both of these words are the same, and they both mean about the same thing. Okay? Difficult because it has many parts. All right? What's the difference between, do you mean adhere, A-D-H-E-R-E, and commit? Do you mean that? Adhere and commit? Are those the two words you're talking about? To adhere to something means to stick to it. So, for example, if you make a bunch of rules, there are two ways to use adhere. One is a literal way, and the other is a figurative way. So, the literal way of meaning adhere is, it means to stick to, right? So, that poster on the wall, it's adhering to the wall, all right? But that's the literal meaning. The figurative meaning would be like if you make some rules. You have some rules, you know. I'm supposed to go to bed every night at 10 o'clock, whatever. That's a rule. So do you adhere to the rule? Do you follow it? All right? Commit means a bunch of different things. It depends on the context. But commit usually means, for example, to commit to this argument, right? Like, I want to win an argument, and there are a few ways I could win it. I could use this idea, or I could use this idea. But I need to choose one, right? So I decide I think this idea is the best one to use to win the argument. So I'm going to commit to it, meaning I'm going to choose that I'm going to say all of my effort will go here, and I'm not going to think about the other one anymore. I'm going to commit to this one. It means to not think about anything else but this choice now. Okay? It means you're not going back. You're only going forward with the decision you made. All right, but commit has other meanings. It depends on the context. To commit a crime means to do a crime. Or having done. Can I give you information about the modal? When you say the modal, what do you mean about the modal? Modal verbs? What are you talking about? Modal phrases? What do you mean? Which modal? There's also modal music. I could talk about that too. I love modal music. Whenever I try to speak fast in a good accent in English, sometimes I slip and mispronounce some words. How do I fix that? Sushi, that's really easy. Don't speak fast. Don't speak fast. Who told you that you have to speak fast? What book says that good speaking is fast speaking? Have you ever seen that in a book? Have you ever seen it written down? Did anyone ever tell you that if you don't speak fast, then you don't speak well? No. It's not a rule. That's not a rule. Language has no speed. Language has no speed. Speak well. All right? So let me tell you how this works. This is just like in music. In music, when I play a song, that song is supposed to have a tempo. Tempo means the speed of the song, right? So sometimes it's 120 beats per minute or 100 beats per minute or 90 beats per minute, okay? And that's the tempo of the song, right? Oh, man, hold on. Uh-oh, did it just get frozen? Is it frozen? It was frozen for a minute for me. I don't know if it's frozen for you. Hello? Uh-oh. Maybe I lost my connection. Hello? Anyone? It's okay. All right, maybe there's a delay. All right, so what I was trying to say is, if I learn a song, my goal as a musician is to play that song with good feeling. So, sometimes when you speed up, when you play a song, you lose the feeling. It doesn't have a good feeling anymore. It goes too fast. It feels rushed, right? So, I always use the same song. I always think about Fior Elise, right? The song Fior Elise. That's the speed it's supposed to be. Slow. Legato, it's called, right? But if you play it too fast, it doesn't sound good anymore. It doesn't sound good. So, when you speak words, it's not about going fast. It's about making the words sound good and musical and feel nice. If it was only good that I speak fast, then I would speak fast all the time. Do I usually speak fast when I'm here? No, not usually. Occasionally, but not usually. All right, next question. Please be patient. There are many, many questions. Phrasal verb tips. Gabby, phrasal verbs are hard. Duh. My suggestion is two. There are two suggestions. One is you should choose one verb, like the verb get. That's a popular one. There are many, many phrasal verbs that use the word get. Okay? and then learn all the phrasal verbs that have get, or at least find all the phrasal verbs with get. Then I want you to look at that list of all the verbs that use get, the phrasal verbs that use get, and then choose the ones that you like. For example, get in, get on, get over, get through. Get over. Get over is one, we use that phrasal verb when we're talking about a breakup. If you have a breakup with your boyfriend or girlfriend and you're sad, maybe your friends will tell you you need to get over her or him. It means to get past this feeling of sadness. Okay, get past it, to get over it, right? If that's useful to you, then learn that one. So, learn all the ones that use the same verb, then learn the few from that list that are useful to you in your life. That's one tip. The second tip I have is that you should only learn a few at a time, kind of like idioms, Don't learn too many too fast. All right? Try to just use ones that are very useful to you, all right, and practical. All right? Next question. My mouth is dry. How to take advantage of has negative and positive meaning. I don't know what you mean by that. What's that? Can you ask that question again in a different way? How take advantage of has negative and positive? I'm confused by the way you ask that. Oh, wait a minute. Take advantage of is the one phrase you're talking about. Okay, now I understand. Okay, take advantage of. Yes, it has a negative and a positive meaning. To take advantage of means an advantage. What is an advantage? What is an advantage? Do you know that word? It's a fun word. Let's look at the word advantage. Advantage comes from the Old French avantage, and then before that it comes from the Latin abantaticum, from the Latin word abante, which means before. Ab means from, and ante means before. So the meaning of this is to be in front of someone. To go before. Not in front of. To go before. So, for example, think about war. I want you to think about battles and fights a long time ago. If your army got to the battlefield first, that's an advantage. So that's what advantage means. Okay? Advantage means you got there in advance. The word advance and advantage are related because that's what advantage means. I got there first, so now I have an advantage. I got there before you. I advanced before you to have advantage. All right? And then the word vantage. Vantage is an interesting word, too. Where is it? vantage. A vantage point comes from the word advantage, and a vantage point means you're talking about a high point somewhere. A high point. Like a hill or a mountain. Why? Because when you fight a battle, you want the high ground, not the low ground. So the word advantage is related to the word advance, meaning to get there first. You advanced, okay? You moved first, all right? So, and then vantage means that you have a higher point that you're on the high ground looking down at your enemy. So that's an advantage, okay? But then what was the other word? Where was it? Sorry, please be patient. Oh, right. To take advantage of. So that's the positive meaning, means to get there first, and that way now you have the advantage. You're in a better position than the other people. Okay, you have an advantage. Okay, to take advantage of someone, that means they have something that you want and you manipulate them, you trick them into giving you their advantage. So to take advantage of a good discount means, oh, look, this weekend, this store has a sale. That's a sale. I'm going to go there this weekend because that is a good thing for me. So I am going to take advantage of that good thing. But you can also take advantage of a person and say, he has a good thing that I want. So I am going to trick him and take advantage of him, meaning I'm going to take his advantage for myself. All right? I hope you understand that. Where am I looking for those meanings? Mustafa, I am using an app called Etymonline. It's a website or an app, etymonline.com. It's an etymology dictionary. It shows the history of the words. It's a big hobby of mine. Okay, again, please be patient. There are many, many, many comments and questions, and I try to answer them all, so please be patient. How can you improve public speaking? Public speaking is about confidence. So, Mo, if you're still here, Mo, how many times have you done public speaking? How many times have you done public speaking? Okay, maybe he's not here. He was asking about public speaking. I get this a lot. People say, I'm not good at public speaking. And then I say, how many times have you done it? And they say, well, I tried it 5 times or 10 times or 20 times. And they think that's a lot. But then I say, can you name anything that you've only done 20 times that you're good at? Can you name anything, anything at all, that you've only done less than 20 times, but you're really good at it? Anyone? Bueller. Eating. No. Waleed, have you ever seen a baby eat? Waleed, babies, when they eat, they put it all over their face. It's all over their clothes. No, babies take years to learn how to eat. So, it's funny to me when someone says, I did it 20 times, but I'm not good. Of course you're not good. You've only done it 20 times. Nobody is good at anything in only 20 times, or 10 times, or 5 times. Okay? But if you have done it 1,000 times, then you're good. So keep doing it. That's the answer. It's very, very simple answer. I'm not good at public speaking. How can I be good at public speaking? Do more public speaking. That's it. The more you do it, the easier it gets. Okay? This is just like being a musician. When you are a performer, you have to get on stage and perform. And everybody is nervous when they get on stage. But if my job is to be on stage, then I need to get on stage. That's right. It's like a pilot. Flight hours. That's exactly right. And carrot, that's usually what I say, is 1,000 hours. If you've done something 1,000 times, 1,000 hours, now you can do it. So, if you keep telling yourself, I can't do it, I can't do it, look at your numbers. Look at your numbers. Maybe your numbers are not the right numbers. All right? Okay, next question. You've done it countless times in both real life and online. I can even beat you, dude. All right. I don't know why we're competing, but Mustafa, I don't know if you really want to say that, Mustafa. How old are you, Mustafa? Just out of curiosity. If you don't mind me asking. When you say countless times, I'm not sure if your countless is the same as my countless. So, Mustafa, I have been teaching longer than you have been alive. I'm 50, Mustafa. I started teaching when I was 18. Just on this app, only here, on this app, Mustafa, just my numbers here, I have done more than 1,300 live streams here for more than 2,300 hours here. That's only my teaching here. That doesn't include any of my teaching with my classes, with my courses, the teaching I did when I lived overseas. It doesn't include when I went to Harvard and talked in front of Harvard University. It doesn't include all the public speaking I do with every live stream. So, Mustafa, I'm sure you're good, man. I'm sure you're good. But give yourself something to aim for, Mustafa. If you think you're that good that you can beat me now, then you have nothing to learn. Do you think how many 23-year-olds don't have anything to learn? How many 23-year-olds have nothing left to learn? All right, Mustafa, so settle down now. Settle down. Okay, next question. Let me go back. I'm sorry, I skipped a lot of questions. And here I am flexing, talking about Harvard. Okay, next. Can we use them in the same text? I think you were talking about those two words, and yes, you can. What does stick to mean? Stick to means two things. One, it can mean like this is the wall, and I'm going to stick something to it, right? So it means to like use glue or an adhesive or something to put it on there, right? Like tape. Okay, you make it stick to something with tape. You use glue to make something stick, right? But stick to has another meaning. It could mean to follow or to obey. To stick to the rules. To stick to the road. Okay, so stick to has a few different meanings. Depends on the context. Do I think this sentence is natural? We didn't intend you to hurt him or for him to hurt you. More specifically, would you add the for? We didn't intend you to hurt him or for him to hurt you. I probably would add for. If you mean we didn't intend for you to hurt him or for him to hurt you, that is the way I would say it, because it doesn't make any sense to say a natural inversion in an unnatural way. So this is you're using it's a rhetorical technique where you're using a phrase that's almost the same repeated in a different way. But it's only effective if you keep the way that it's repeated the same. So when you change it by dropping the for, it becomes less effective. It sounds better and feels better when you put the for in there. We didn't intend for you to hurt him or for him to hurt you. All right, next question. You're usually confused when American people say can and can't. So, Fred, that happens to native speakers too. Occasionally here, someone will speak something, I'll ask them a question, and when they speak, I won't hear them clearly, so I can't tell if they said can or can't. And do you know what I do? I look at them and I say, I'm sorry, did you say can or can't? And that's what you should do. So repeat after me, Fred. I'm sorry, did you say can or can't? That's all. Just say that, man. All right? Because sometimes people don't really pronounce that T very hard. All right? Next question. The meaning of striking confuses you a little bit. I felt like a hound striking a scent. So striking has a bunch of different meanings, man. To strike means to hit something. And if something is striking, it could mean that it's like it's hitting you, right? So maybe you're wearing some clothes and you look really handsome and someone will say, wow, you look very striking. It means you look so good, it's like someone smacked you in the face. Wow. Okay, so that's one meaning of striking. The meaning that you're talking about, striking a scent. A hound is a kind of dog, and those dogs are used for their noses for hunting. So to strike a scent means to hit. You found one. You found one. What are dogs doing when they sniff? They're looking for a scent. And when they find one, they struck it. Oh, here's a scent, right? We also use the word strike when we're talking about, like digging for gold. If you're looking for gold in the ground and you find some, we say we struck gold. Or oil. Oil, same thing. We struck oil. You hit it. You hit that thing. All right? So striking has a bunch of different meanings. Okay. Man. I want Mary to come to Japan and for her to see my parents. That one does not need another for. It can, but it doesn't need to. And that one is not using the same rhetorical technique. So I don't think you need to. Okay, next question. The strength of the word from where the word it derives its strength. And by your perspective, teacher Mark, what's the strongest word? Oh, I've never thought about it that way, man. I don't know how to think about it that way. I don't give preferences to things usually that way, man. In my experience, sometimes when you prefer things too much, your preferences cloud your judgment. So having an open mind means forgetting about your preferences. Okay? So when you try new foods, it's not about what your favorite is. Your favorite is pizza. Great. But when you're trying new foods, that has nothing to do with trying new foods. All right? So sometimes I don't like to think about favorites because I think favorites, they put you in a box. They make you only see what's in that box. But if you leave yourself open more, then you're able to judge things more clearly, in my opinion. All right? English speed is only needed to rap like Eminem. That's exactly right. Yeah, that's exactly right, Alexander. Do I think flashcards are a good way to learn phrasal verbs? Sure. Actually, that's a pretty good way. Yeah. Man, please be patient. I'm really trying to catch up, but there are too many comments, so please be patient. What did I go to Harvard for? I wasn't studying there. Actually, it's funny. I was there because it was 2015. I think it was 2015, if I remember right. I was working for HelloTalk. And at that time, I was like a marketing guy for HelloTalk. And I wasn't like, I was a marketing guy for HelloTalk. And so HelloTalk paid me to fly around the country and demonstrate the app and talk about the app and tell people about the app. And one of the colleges that I had to go to talk to was Harvard. So I had to stand in front of the entire Harvard University language department in a big room with a big screen behind me, and I had to demonstrate this app to a bunch of professors who have a whole lot more teaching experience than I do. Thank you, Julia. Teacher AS, what's up, man? What types of topics or themes? Anything. Just ask me. I mean, most people ask English questions, but whatever. Ask me a question. I don't answer anything controversial. I'm not here to be controversial. I'm here to teach. All right? So if you ask me something that's political or whatever, I'm not talking about any of that stuff because that's not why I'm here. All right? Do I have opinions? Sure I do. But I don't share them here, mostly. Okay, what is call off? The meaning of call off means to end or stop something, right? Call off the search, right? Like maybe there's a missing boy, right? He's been missing for 2 weeks. Unfortunately, they probably won't find him, so they stop searching. So they call off. Hey, come back. We're done. That's call off. Means we're done. We're not doing it anymore. We were going to the park this weekend, but we called it off because of the rain. Okay? But call off also has a second meaning. It does have another meaning like to yell, for example, to call off your name. Maybe I have a new classroom and I say to the students, when I call off your name, raise your hand. It means when I say your name, when I announce your name. Okay? What books are better to read for your level? I don't mean textbooks, but stories and novels. Julia, I don't know what your level is, right? So are you beginner, intermediate, advanced, B1, B2, C1, C2? Can you tell me more? Yeah, we don't use, but the thing is, Fred, we don't use cannot. Cannot sometimes is a stronger feeling, Fred. So if I say, I can't go with you this weekend, that's one thing. But Fred, if I say, I cannot go with you this weekend, now that's actually stronger somehow. All right, so sometimes when we use the full word cannot, it might be a little more serious or upset or angry, okay, or trying to be more clear and firm, all right? Gray, hey man, what's up? Long time no see. And I caught up with the comments. Yay, I'm finally caught up. Man, my mouth is dry. I can't, my lips are dry. I need a second. Oh. All right. Sarah's, wow, that's Sarah. That's a question. What should be the steps you follow to teach English to a 16-year-old boy, I think you're saying, with ADHD via online? Okay, Sarah, I have ADHD too. And it sucks, but it's also, every disadvantage can be an advantage if you learn about it. It's kind of a funny thing. So, for example, when I was a boy, ADHD was a real problem for me. I was very distractible. It was hard for me to focus on things, right? But then I learned as I got older how to use that for an advantage. So, Sarah, if you made me sit down with one book and try to study one book for 1 hour every day, I couldn't do that. That's what everybody else did, but I couldn't do that. But if you give me 20 books, or, 2 books and 2 apps and 2 videos, distractible people like many things. So what you can do is manipulate your disability to be an advantage. The thing is, you just need to give him enough that he can be interested in. So for example, Sarah, I'm a drummer, okay? If you can see the drums behind me. And when I was younger, what I would do is I had a big stack of books, like 30 books or so, right? And each one was a completely different thing, all right? Like, one was about rock music, and one was about jazz music, and another one was about reading the music and snare drum, and another one was about African drumming and whatever. There were many, many, many different books, right? All different kinds, okay? And I would sit down to try to practice one, and I would do it for as long as I could until I get bored, until I get frustrated, which happens. Then I'd stop for a minute and just try to play with whatever I just was learning. Whatever I was learning and studying, I'll try to just play with it, have fun with it. So if you're studying a sentence, right, a sentence structure or something, right, or a vocabulary word, can you play with that word? Can you play with that sentence structure? Can you do something with it for fun, for just a minute or 2 or 5? Okay, then I go to the next book, and it's a completely different thing now. So now I'm interested again. And then I do the same thing. I do that book until I get bored or frustrated. Then I take 5 or 10 minutes and play with the ideas that I was learning. Then I do the next book that I can be distracted by. So I learned how to manipulate my distractibility. And I learned that I can't do it the way everybody else does. With one book at a time and focusing only on one thing at a time. I did it another way. Both worked. So, it might not work for your, whoever this is, your son, your brother, I'm not sure, but it worked for me, and I think it does work for some other people. All right, so you can try to use as many different things as possible for English, right? So, books, apps, videos, teachers, friends, live streams, TV shows, movies, music, poetry, anything, everything that you can to keep it interesting. All right? Sarah, I remember when I studied piano when I was like 8 years old, 9 years old, I hated it. Hated it because my teacher gave me one book, the first book, one, and told me I can't do anything else. I can only do that. Hated it. But then I stopped lessons with her and I just started doing it by myself, and I did anything I want and I liked it. So the point was, she was trying to direct my mind in a way that my mind doesn't like to be directed. But if you find the way that your mind likes to be directed, do it that way. All right? Okay. Intermediate level for you, Julia. So, Julia, there's one book that I always recommend here because it is one of my favorites. You know, I don't say favorites, but this is a great book. It's just a book I really enjoyed a lot when I was a kid, and I still enjoy it now. It's a famous book called The Count of Monte Cristo by Alexander Dumas. Oh, you like that one? Did you read that one already? Or maybe you read it in Russian? Well, now you can read it in English. That's also a good idea. So if you've read some books in Russian before and you liked that one, get it in English and try it in English. It'll be different. It's different when you read a book in a different language, believe me. All right? So that's one I would say is a great book. And yeah, why do I like that book? Because it has something for everybody. You know, it's a romance novel, but it's about revenge. It's about best friends who betray each other. It's about rich people and poor people. It has stuff about pirates and pirate ships and treasure and, it's a little bit of something for everybody, right? And there's also a great movie. I'm sure you've probably seen it. The 2002. There are a few versions, but the 2002 version is great. Great movie. Okay, so that's one, right? And yeah, I would do more of that. Any books that you've read in Russian, if you know it exists in English, if it was originally English, yeah, do that. Find that and try reading those, all right? That will be easier for you, right? That means that anything in that book, you have read it in Russian, so you know the vocabulary in Russian. Now you can see, do you know that same vocabulary in English? All right? So that's one good one. For intermediate, really, there are so many in the intermediate level, right? So what I would suggest is do a search online for whatever style of book you like, right? Do you like historical books? Do you like romance books? Do you like drama or, family things? Like, what kinds of books do you like, right? Figure that out and then just do a search online for intermediate B1, B2 level, okay? War and Peace. Ooh, see, now that's a book that, like, almost no one has read because it's, like, this big. It's this thick. War and Peace. I mean, it's great, but it's also... I don't know. How do I say this? Novels that long, I don't know if we should even write novels that long anymore. Novels that long were written when time felt that way. So when you're reading War and Peace, it feels like time stops. It's so slow. But that's how time felt back then. But these days, time does not feel slow. No one lives a slow life anymore. Right? So, yeah. Let me see something here. My internet is slow today. Yeah, I mean, when Tolstoy was writing that, Tolstoy, a lot of his stuff is kind of depressing and kind of drab, but that's how life was for him, a lot. If you read about him and you see him, you'll see why. You know, he's the one who said something like, he has a quote, I can't remember the exact words, but it's basically like, if you learn about the world, then of course you're depressed. But it's awkward to read, and Tolstoy didn't write as interestingly as Dumas. Yeah, but I mean, on the other hand, it's completely different, you know? War and Peace is, in my opinion, it's supposed to be boring. It's supposed to be. That's part of what you're supposed to feel. You're supposed to feel the feeling of time, being that slow, and feeling that weight, the weight of time that you could feel because it was so slow. But Dumas was writing more of a... I love The Count of Monte Cristo, but it's a romance novel. And what is a romance novel? Romance doesn't mean love. It means about adventure. The word romantic, it comes from Romans. The Roman people, they loved a good story about a hero. So a romance story is a story about a hero. But heroes often save the woman. So that's why we now think about romance novels about being about love. But really, romance means it's a hero doing something good. And often it involves saving the girl. Tolstoy wrote depressed. Of course he was. You know, again, if you read any of his quotes, you know, if you read about his quotes and stuff, his quotes are brilliant. But man, that guy was depressed. But I mean, come on. Happiness was not a feeling that was widely shared a long time ago. Did you know that? It's really kind of funny. If you go back in time a few hundred years and you look at the pictures, any pictures that people took, did people smile in pictures a long time ago? Did people smile in pictures? No, actually. If you look at almost all pictures from, how many, I'm going to say maybe 200, like we'll say 200, what is it, 100, 150, 100, we'll see. Let me see. When was the camera? Let's see when the camera started. Camera invented what year? There it is. It was in 1826. So look at this. Let me show you a picture of what people used to look like. So there were two reasons why people didn't smile in pictures. One is technology. So a long time ago, the cameras, when you took a picture, you had to stay very, very still for a long time. So it was very easy to hold a face like this. But it's not easy to hold a face like this. That's one reason why they did it, right? But there was a second reason, which is more cultural, which was actually, do you know what the word silly means? What does silly mean? The word silly, do you guys know the word silly? S-I-L-L-Y? What does silly mean? And here's where we get interesting. Ah, right. So see, there are two definitions coming up. Some people think silly means dumb, and some people think silly means funny. It means both. In most cases today, when we say that's silly, we mean funny. Okay? Most of the time when we say silly today, he's really silly, doesn't mean dumb. I don't call my friend dumb. I'm saying he's a funny guy. All right? But a long time ago, the word silly did mean dumb or maybe slow. Okay? And it's funny because if you are dumb or slow, then maybe you do smile a lot. So you look silly. Right? So that's why the word silly became about being dumb. Because sometimes dumb people would walk around with a face like this. So do smart people never smile? It's a cultural thing, right? A long time ago, if you were smiling a lot, it was almost like showing off. I'm happy. Look how happy I am, right? But it also meant I'm not serious. I'm not serious. Maybe you don't do your business well, or you're not a good farmer. And then in religion, religion kind of played a role too. Religion started telling people that good people, only good people, how do I say this? They encourage you to believe that working hard is good. Of course, working hard is good, but they were manipulating you. They were trying to get you to believe that your pain and suffering is good. All right? And so, if you walk around like this all day, then you look like you're a serious person who does serious things. But if you walk around like this all day, then you look like you're silly. All right? So the meaning of silly has changed a lot. All right? The word silly now just means funny. He's a silly guy. It's a silly cartoon. That's a silly movie. That's a good word. There's nothing wrong with the word silly. I love the word silly. But a long time ago, the word silly, it did mean slow, dumb, maybe low IQ, something like that. Okay? And if you look up the definition today, it still sometimes does say that. There's, a secondary definition will say dumb or something like that. Okay? So yeah, that's what I'm saying is a long time ago, most people didn't walk around like this all day. When you look at old videos or old pictures or old movies, almost everyone who's walking around looks pretty serious. Almost everyone. The only people who don't are children. And even some of them do, because guess what? 200 years ago, sometimes you could be a child worker. So 200 years ago, they might have little kids in factories working. And so if you're a worker, you got to be serious. Let me show you. Let me prove it to you. Let's see. So let's look at these pictures and tell me how many of these kids look like they're happy. Here's one child worker. Here's another child worker. Do you know how many hours they worked back then? They were also tired. They were tired, right? Like, look at these kids. Look at these kids. So why did people not smile a lot back then? Well, partly because life was a little hard. Life was a little hard, man. So look at these kids. Nobody's smiling. All right? Or almost nobody. Look, there's one. They're smiling, but why? Because they're not working. They're not working. But every one of these other ones, they're all not smiling. But also, I mean, let's look. Pictures of people from let's go 1900s, 19th century. Let me see. Okay, look. Even this picture, these women, they're looking pretty serious. I mean, they're posing, but they're not smiling. They look serious. Because a long time ago, people did not want you to think that they are slow. They didn't want you to think that they might be, dumb. So people didn't smile too much, because smiling might mean you're a little dumb. All right, let's keep going. Let me go back and see. Do we have any other questions? A novel that you can read to enhance your English language. Bassam, I can't recommend anything if I don't know your level. You have to tell me more. Okay? Les Miserables. Yeah, Les Miserables is good. But Les Miserables is from French, right? Means the miserable people. Let's see. Hello, Mona. You have a problem. Sometimes you study English and practice it daily, but there are some periods where I stop everything. What's the solution? Don't stop everything. You need to be creative. You have to find some other ways to practice. You can't just stop. You have to find a way to do it in another way. All right? So if you don't have time to study English, okay, fine. But when you're driving to work, you better listen to English. If you're walking to the park or going to get lunch, you better put on a podcast, an English podcast. If you have time in the evening, to watch a TV show, watch an English TV show. You have to find creative ways to make it live. You have to find creative ways to continue to study and never stop. As an adult, learning is a lifestyle. Let me say that again. When you're a student and you're a kid, learning is something that you do part-time. You study for a few hours. Learning must be a lifestyle. If you make it a lifestyle, then there will be no periods where you stop everything. Okay? Let's see. So hold on a minute. I'm doing a little research. So, Waleed's asking about some video game I don't know about. It's called Devil May Cry. I just looked it up, and there is an English phrase, devil may care. but they stole that phrase and changed the last word to Devil May Cry. Now, according to this, it's just part of the video game. It's not an English phrase. Devil May Cry is only from this video game, so it has no value anywhere else, okay? In the video game, it means that when a demon possesses someone, demons can feel sadness too. They can cry. I don't know why that's important, but okay. But then there's another one, Devil May Care. And Devil May Care is old. That one comes from the 18th century. And it means somebody who's reckless, who doesn't think before they act. They're carefree, you know, they're not concerned with any consequences. That's Devil May Care. All right. So if you know somebody who never thinks about the consequences, then they are a Devil May Care kind of a person. All right. So Devil May Care is an English phrase, an idiom that you can use. Devil May Cry is not. It's just from the video game. It doesn't really mean anything in English. It only means something for the video game. Okay, next question. I thought he is a funny guy meant he tells good jokes. Funny does, yeah. Funny means that you, yeah, just how schauder. Yeah. Hello, Marco. Give you a hint. Search the name of the rose. It's a movie about medieval times in Italy with Sean Connery. Oh, I think I know that one. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Uh-huh. Very good, Marco. You had a happy childhood. Well, I'm glad to hear that, Julia. I mean, Julia, look, you know, what time period was that in Russia? What years was War and Peace supposed to be? 18 something? Right? Yeah, 18 something, right? Well, if you want to see the same thing in American history, then go to look online for pictures of the Great Depression. Go look at pictures of the Great Depression in America, and you will see massive poverty. People sold their children. People sold their children because they were so poor. And they didn't have anything to eat. They didn't wear shoes. They lost their farms. They lost their houses. They lost everything. Yeah, Grapes of Wrath. There's a good one to read about that too. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, next question. Let's see. Happy New Year. Yeah, Shinyan Kuai La. Can I please tell you the exact meaning of creative? Seeker, being creative creativity is the art of thinking about something in a different way. Creativity is the act of trying to make something different with different ideas. That's creativity. It could come in any form. So when you paint and you come up with new ideas that you do, that's creativity. When you write and you write your feelings and thoughts, that's creativity. So creativity is the idea of doing something and trying to imagine it in a different way, somehow. And some people are very good at this, imagining the many different ways something can be. Those are very creative people. If you can imagine one thing as many, many, many things, that's very creative. But if you can only imagine one thing as one thing, then you're not very creative. Okay? What device am I using to live stream? Ron, I'm on my PC. I live stream from my computer so that I can use a good microphone and all my equipment and whatever. So you can do that too, but what you have to do is when you set up a live stream at HelloTalk, you have to copy the link and then send the link. I send the link to my Telegram account, and then I open my Telegram on my computer and open the link in a browser, and then you can start your stream on HelloTalk. You cannot use HelloTalk on your computer, but you can broadcast, right? You can do a stream, okay? All right, let's see here. Does music help with what? Does music help learning English? It can. Oops. It can. But doesn't always. It depends on the music. You found something scary in yourself. You found that you're attracted to vengeance and revenge stories in novels. So, Waleed, again, I've noticed that about you, Waleed. And maybe you should think about that. Why? Why do you feel that way? Why are you so attracted to those ideas and those feelings? Did something in your past affect you in a way that makes you feel this way now? And does it benefit you or not? And don't lie to yourself, Waleed. Lying is always bad, but the lies that you tell yourself are much, much worse than any lie you can tell someone else. The lies that you tell yourself are much worse because we lie to ourselves all the time because it's easier to lie to yourself than it is to admit the truth. Okay? So what I would say, Waleed, is you have found something about yourself that you know is not quite right. You can feel it. So you should explore that and think about it and contemplate it. Because what you're feeling is that your feeling is controlling you. Right now, your feeling is controlling you, Waleed, because you don't understand it. But if you take time to think about it and understand it, then maybe you can get control of it. All right? And did I miss anybody over here? I didn't. Good. All right. And somebody was asking about how I do my live streams, and I said I use Telegram. Well, that's what I use, but if you can't use Telegram, it doesn't matter. Use anything. WeChat, whatever. Just the point is, I send a link from my phone to my computer using an app. Any app. It doesn't matter. You can use your email. All right? Is it easy to get a 7? No, of course it's not easy. Jay, yes, I'm a drummer. What's the difference between colonize, conquer, and occupy? Colonize is the word that means to make a colony. Colony means an early settlement. Okay, so Colonial times means the times when all the Brits, it was the Brits mostly. I mean, it was not just the Brits. The Spanish did it, the Brits did it, the Portuguese did it, the Dutch did it, but the French, everybody was colonizing during that time period. Okay, so a colony means a settlement. Okay, but colonizing sounds just like you're making a settlement, but sometimes it means you have to attack the people who were there first. So sometimes when we say they colonized or they're colonizers, it has a negative meaning because we know that they didn't just come to some place, with land where there were no people. No, there were people there and they said, hey, I like this land. I know it's yours, but I'm going to take it. So they colonized, okay? Conquer. Conquer comes from the word, let me check, I can't remember. Conquer comes from the Latin word conquirere, meaning to search for or procure by with effort, to win. It comes from the word it means to seek or gain. It's interesting. It's actually related to the word query, to ask. How about that? That's interesting. I didn't know that. Okay, so conquer basically just means to take over, right? To conquer means to take over by force, okay? And occupy is just a term that means to... So, for example, the most basic form of the word occupy is when you're using a bathroom, like a public bathroom, right? And on the door, there's a little green handle and a red handle, right? When you close the door, the red, people will see it says occupied. That means someone is in there. Okay, so occupied comes from the word meaning to take that place or use that thing, like the word occupation is what you do, right? But the word occupy has kind of taken on a new meaning because of the military. And an occupation is when basically you did invade a place, but you don't call it invasion now, you just call it an occupation. We're just there to help. We just send a bunch of soldiers there and they just stand there and they're not doing anything. No. They're just occupying the place. So it's called a euphemism. It means it's a term that they use to make it sound not so bad, but it's bad. All right? All right. How can you stop blaming yourself when you make mistakes? What is wrong with mistakes? Can you tell me that? What's wrong with mistakes? Why are you afraid of mistakes? Why do you not like mistakes? I love mistakes. Listen to the word. The word mistake. It even sounds delicious. It has the word steak in it. Mistake. It sounds yummy. So why are mistakes a problem? Why do you not like them? I like them. Mistakes are only bad if you avoid them and if you don't learn from them. But if you don't avoid them and you just learn from them, then mistakes are good. So, if you're not making mistakes, you're not making progress. Every time you make a mistake, that's an opportunity to learn. So, I like mistakes. You should too. But learn from them. Rithvik, I speak its Mandarin. Mandarin Chinese? American Mandarin Chinese? What's the difference between a legal occupation and an illegal occupation? Seeker, that would require me to talk about international law? Oh, okay. Let me try to use a local example to try to make the point. For example, if you rent an apartment, you pay money to stay there. So you are legally occupying that apartment. You're legally occupying that apartment. But if you stop paying money, or if you never paid money and you just go live there, then you are illegally occupying that apartment. So basically, they both mean that you are there and you're someplace that you're not supposed to be normally. But if it's legal, then that means you have permission. If it's not legal, then you don't have permission to be there. All right, so an illegal occupation means you don't have permission or legal right or law following you in any way. Okay, you're not following the law, you're not paying attention to the law, you're doing it illegally. All right? That's right. The only people who don't make mistakes are dead people. Let me say that again. I like that sentence. The only people who don't make mistakes are dead people. All right? You're living abroad for studying, but the university I'm studying is not that good, and I'm having the hardest time of my life. What's my advice? So, okay, that's hard. Can you tell me, would you mind telling me what university you're at or what city? Both maybe would be great. I think I might be able to give you some advice about this, maybe. But it would help if I know where you're at. What school are you going to and where? Oh, you're in Busan. So wait a minute. You're living abroad, but you're Korean. So you mean you moved away from your city? So what is your city, Seoul? Are you from Seoul, but you're not Korean. Ah, I see. Where are you from? If you don't mind, that might help me too. So you're studying in Busan. That's interesting. Okay. Are you, let me guess, are you Indian? Central Asian. Okay. Close enough. All right. So you're studying. What are you studying there? What are you studying? University of Foreign Studies doing what? Oh, you haven't chosen yet. So what's hard? Tell me what's hard. You said it's really hard. You're having a hard time. You said your studying is not that good. You're having the hardest time in your life. Can you tell me the language barrier? Okay. So I have lived in a foreign country before. Okay, I moved to Taiwan, and I didn't know any Chinese then. And it's hard. It's hard. You know, it's difficult to try to figure out how can you live there and how can you survive there and how can you communicate with people. Have you started learning Korean? I assume you're learning Korean, right? You better. Okay, good. Focus on that, all right? Because here's the thing. When I started learning Chinese, my life got a lot better. Life was so much easier when I could communicate with people. All right? I could make friends. I could talk to people and get advice. You could ask the right questions. All right? So just ordering food, that's the first big win when you move to a new country and you learn how to order food in that language. That's like wow, I did it. I ordered my food. Yay. So it's hard. It's hard. Do you have any friends? Local friends? That's another one I would say, man. How long have you been there? A few months? 6 months. Okay, well, guess what? Is this your first time living abroad? Yeah, guess what? The first 6 months to 1 year are always really hard. You're moving to a new place. It's the first time you've moved to a new place. That's rough, man. My first 6 months, I think I was the same as you. All right? I was depressed, and it was frustrating, and it was stressful, and I thought about going home many, many times. I thought about going home many times, but I didn't. Stick it out. All right? Push through. It's hard, but it's not impossible. And you need to remind yourself that millions of people have done it. Billions. So it's possible. It can be done. It will challenge you. You're 19. It will challenge you, man. Okay, this will make you feel better. Okay? When I was 19 years old, I went to college too. And I moved away from my parents' house and I moved into another city. It was only 2 hours away, but it was moving away. I've never moved away before. And it was really hard. And I did not do well. I was too young, to be honest. I was really young and immature and didn't know enough. So that was just me moving to a city a few hours away, and that was hard for me. You're moving to another country at the same age. That's a big challenge. But I'm going to tell you this. This will make you better. This will make you better. I'm going to use a really, it's a trope. It's a simple, basic, common trope. Trope means like a common thing that we say. Do you know how they make diamonds? How are diamonds made? How are diamonds made? Diamonds are made mostly, the natural diamonds are made by pressure. So some organic matter, we'll call it oil, organic matter. A long time ago, this layer of oil and organic matter was there, and it dried. First it dries, so it loses all its moisture. And then after it loses its moisture, it becomes compressed, and more pressure. More and more pressure keeps pushing and 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 keeps pushing. And it makes diamonds, which is one of the hardest, most beautiful, most valuable substances that we use and that we know. It's not really, but that's what we think. So, pressure makes diamonds. Every person that you know who is great went through a difficult time. Greatness requires pressure. All right? So, when you're struggling and you're having a hard time, you need to remember that that's how it's supposed to be. You're in the pressure time. It's a good time. It's hard, but you can do it. All right. And what we say is don't limit your challenges. Instead, challenge your limits. Don't limit your challenges, but instead challenge your limits. So, you think you can't do it. Find out if you can. Challenge yourself. Okay? Make friends. Find a friend. Friendship matters. Okay? If I didn't have friends when I moved away, if I didn't make any friends when I moved away, I would have moved home. You need to make some friends. All right? What's the difference between logic and reasoning? Well, sometimes they're semantically roughly the same, but it depends on how you're using them. I would say that reasoning is a form of logic, but logic... No, I can't really say it that way either. I think what I would say is... Wait, now... I think logic, I would just say, is the formal. Logic is a formal thing. You can study logic. Logic goes all the way back to the Greeks, logos. It was one of the what is it, 4? I can't remember, it's 4 or 5 rhetorical techniques that they use. Ethos and logos and all these different terms. And it's basically just, so logic is the grand subject of reasoning. But reasoning, there are many different kinds of reasoning. So it depends on the kind of reasoning that you're using. That's all different kinds of logic. So I would say reasoning is a type of logic, and logic is the grand topic, the subject. Okay? Have I ever been to Vietnam? No, but I've always wanted to. It's really high on my list of places that I want to go. I love Vietnamese food. Well, I mean, I love pho and I love banh mi, and a bunch of other ones too. And I've seen pictures of just, some of the most beautiful beaches and some of the most beautiful islands and things. It just looks wonderful, and I just really would love to see it. And I've just heard I've heard great things. I've had some friends live there. I have a friend who is a saxophone player, and I played with a band in Taiwan with him. He's American, but he was living in Taiwan. But then before that, he was living in Vietnam, and he was he was in a band in Vietnam that was like the United Nations band. It was kind of interesting. And then I just saw a picture of him a couple of days ago. I think it was maybe a week ago. He was playing a saxophone with Westlife. So if you guys like Westlife, I know somebody who's played with them. Okay, next. That's right, Julia. Later on, you'll say this was a good experience. Doesn't fiddle mean poking by your finger as well? Fiddle has a bunch of different meanings, Mustafa. Fiddle can be a noun, and it can mean a kind of traditional violin that's used for folk music. That's a fiddle. That's one meaning of the word fiddle. Fiddle can also mean to play with something, to manipulate something. So right now I'm fiddling with my microphone or I'm fiddling with my clothes. Okay, it means to play with it somehow. All right. Can it mean poking with your finger? Sure, but that only means, fiddle means to manipulate somehow. So it could be, that's fiddling with it, could be. All right. And the word fiddle If I remember right, let me double check something. Yeah, that's right. So the word fiddle does mean to play with something, but it comes from the violin because the fiddle is something that you play with, and it was sometimes like this and sometimes like this. They would use their fingers to fiddle with it. So fiddle is a word that means a traditional kind of violin that's used to play folk music. To fiddle with something means to play with it with your fingers, like a fiddle. All right? Yeah, logic is the set of rules to evaluate reasoning. That's what I was saying, is logic is like the big subject, and in reasoning is there are many kinds of reasoning that go under logic as a subheading. You're going to Vietnam pretty soon. You're relocating. Okay. All right, well, I'm jealous. Super jealous. Find a bunch of people here, make some friends. There are lots of nice Vietnamese people here. Westlife is a famous band. How many types of drums do I have? Oh, I don't know. A lot. I don't know. I've never counted, but you can look, and I can. All of this on my shelves, that's all drums, different kinds of drums from around the world. From Central America, South America, Africa, India, China, all kinds of instruments from around the world, drums from around the world. Yeah, even from Egypt, yeah. If I remember right, this drum right there is a Sufi drum that was from. Somebody told me that in northern Egypt and in Morocco and in Tunisia that they use drums like these around the fire, especially the Sufi dancers. Sufi dancing is really cool because they play these drums, and the drum. Let me show you. Ooh, it's very tight. So this is one of my drums. It's pretty, right? Isn't that nice? That's beautiful, right? And so this kind of drum is called a frame drum, and but they would play these. This one is too tight today. It's too tight. But at night, they will play these around a fire. A bunch of people, a bunch of guys will have these drums, and they dance as they play. And as they dance, they get closer to the fire. And the fire makes the drum tighter. Makes the drum head tighter, so it goes up in pitch. And then as they dance away from the fire in the night air, the drum drops in pitch. So it's very interesting. As they dance, that changes the sound of the drum because they're getting closer and farther away from the fire. It's kind of cool. Of course, drums. Let's see. What's the best musical instrument in the world? Well, for me, because I'm a drummer, it's a drum. And my favorite seeker is the tabla. Tabla drums, I think, are the most interesting drum. But I also like marimba. Marimba is from Central and Central America, mostly. And tabla is from India, of course. The salary if you work in customer service in English is high. It's more than an engineer. Wow, that's amazing. Playing drums is permissible in Islam. It depends on the Islam. It depends on the place. It depends on where. Yeah, it's allowed in some places. It's part of their culture in some places. It's very important in some places. But I was talking about Sufi, the Sufists. And Sufism is not exactly Islam, right? It's different. You have that like in Saudi Arabia. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Right. It's a Middle Eastern drum, right? North African and Middle Eastern. Yeah. Right. And like I said, it depends. Right. Okay. Look, I'm no Islamic expert, but I know a little bit about the word, the haram stuff, right? But I have talked to so many people from around the world here, Islamic people from around the world, and in some places, music is haram, and in some places, it's not. And I know that different Islamic scholars argue about this. All right, so it's not settled. There is no settled. There are some Islamic scholars who think music is haram, and there are some who don't. So it doesn't matter to me because I'm not Islamic, so it's all good for me. Is it made of goat leather? I believe so. Yeah, I think so. I've got this one. I have another one there too. Let me show. I'll get my other one. So, my knowledge about cultures from around the world started with music from around the world and drums. And every culture has drums. Every culture in the world has drums. Do I play marimba? I do play marimba. I haven't played marimba in many, 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 many years, but yes. I play marimba. Why do some have a bigger diameter than others? Different drums are different sound, bigger drum, bigger sound, sometimes lower sounds, so yeah. Have I ever explored different parts of the world to discover various types of drums? Some, yeah, a little bit. But I haven't traveled that much, so not as much as I'd like to. It depends on the words, right? I know that's important too. It depends on what they're talking about, right? Yeah. But see, that's my point. Does all music have words? Not all music has words. Lots of jazz music doesn't have any words. There are no words. It's just music. Yeah. So yeah. I began learning about other cultures around the world from two ways. One is music and learning music from around the world, and the other is food. I love food. I love to eat, and every place in the world has yummy food. So I started learning about languages and cultures by starting with food and music. All right, guys, guess what? I have been here for 2 hours. I talk too much. You talk too much and you never shut up. That's a song. There was a song called You Talk Too Much in the 1980s from the band Run DMC. And that's me. I do talk too much and I don't ever shut up. Somebody said he's in love with the sound of his own voice. They're probably right. Okay, guys, I have been here for 2 hours, and here is my YouTube channel. If you don't have my YouTube channel, you should get my YouTube channel. There it is. Here is my website. If you don't have my website, here is my website. If you don't have my website, then get my website and go to it. And here is my blog. If you don't have my blog, go to it. They're all free. They're free. You do have to sign up, but they are free. Okay? You have to subscribe, but they are free. All right? I forgot to talk about, I guess I did talk about etymology a little bit. Who was that? I can't remember. Who was asking me about etymology today? Are you still here? Probably not. Does anybody want to learn about etymology? Probably not. Alyssa does. Alyssa's happy with anything I do. Etymology. Etymology means the history of words and where they come from and how they've changed over time. And it's something I'm pretty good at. I know a lot about it. So, tell me a word and I'll tell you where it comes from. English words. 60% of English words come from Latin or Greek language. 30% of English words come from French. 20% of English words come from German. We have many English words that come from Arabic and Persian and Hindi, some from Chinese, some from Japanese. Okay? Burger, or as the Russians always, I like the way the Russians say the word burger. I love the way Russians say the word burger. And burger comes from the word hamburger, and hamburger is the food, right? But why do we call it a hamburger? The story is that a long time ago, in the 1900s, around the 1900s, in Hamburg, Germany. Hamburg is a city in Germany. And in that city, they had a style of cooking that used meat that they chopped meat. Okay, they chopped the meat to be very small. So any food that you cooked with chopped meat then, at that time, was called Hamburg style. It was cooked in the style of Hamburg. So in America, there was somebody who decided to start making chopped meat patties, burgers. And so, yeah, the hamburger comes from the word Hamburg, which means done in the style of Hamburg cooking. Chopped and minced, no, not the same. Minced is smaller, chopped is bigger. Those are cooking terms. Those are cooking terms. So chopped is like maybe about this big, okay? But minced is tiny, all right? Perfect Russian. Что? Нет. Entrepreneur. You want to know where entrepreneur comes from? It's French. Entrepreneur is French. Any words that has E-U-R, it's always French. All right. Like the word flower, fleur in French is F-L-E-U-R, something like that. Yeah, so entrepreneur. Let's look up the word entrepreneur. I remember it, but I'm going to teach it to you anyway. Entrepreneur. It comes from the old French word entreprendre, meaning undertake. It's something that you do. So in French, the original word, the meaning in French, because it's a French word, it means something, a business that you start. To undertake means to start, to do. Usually a big project is something that you undertake a project, okay? So to undertake is the original meaning of entrepreneur. It means I'm going to start a business. That's what it means, all right? Assassin comes from Arabic. I believe it's not Persian. I think it was Arabic. It's hashashin, right? That was the original meaning, hashashin, or the original pronunciation, right? So that one, let's see, the Italian was assassini, then it was Arabic hashashin, and then right, and then there was an earlier pronunciation that I can't say. So there are a bunch of stories about that, right? Because it's related to the word hashish, right? And the story is that it was a group of Muslim fanatics. They were like the most serious, right? And they lived in the mountains of Lebanon at the time during the Crusades a long time ago, and they had a reputation for killing leaders. They had a reputation for killing leaders, and the story was that they always did it after they would use hashish. They would eat something, or I don't know if they smoked it or ate it or what, but the legend is that they would be high. They would use this drug, and then they would murder leaders. So the word assassin means a killer who kills one person, not like a lot of people. They kill one specific person, like a leader, right? So yeah, that's where the word assassin comes from. It's from hashashin. Any other words you want to ask me about? Give me a word, I'll tell you where it comes from. Hello, Ivanel. Hello, over in my YouTube. Give me a word, and I will tell you where it comes from. You love the etymology, not ethnology. Etymology of mortgage. Yeah, mortgage is funny. The word mortgage, what is a mortgage? Mortgage is the money that you pay for your house. Every month you pay it to the bank, right? And what does it mean? It means the money that you can only stop paying if you die. So the only way to stop paying that money is muerte, to be dead. Mort. M-O-R-T means dead. Acquaintance. Let me see. I want to say French. Acquaintance comes from the word acquaint. Acquaint, meaning to make yourself known, right? To tell somebody who you are is to acquaint yourself with them, all right? So the word acquaint was kind of like introduce a long time ago. Have you been acquainted means have you been introduced? Have you met? Have you met before? Okay? So the word acquaint, let's see, the original word acquainter, meaning to make known, and then from that it came from the Latin word Acognitus, meaning to be acquainted with. So the word acquaint is actually it's related to the word cognition, cognitive, anything with C-O-G-N, it means something about thinking, So in this case, they're saying something about knowing, I should say, not thinking, knowing. So to be acquainted is to make yourself known. Okay? An acquaintance is a person you know but not well. They're not a friend. They're not close to you, but you know them. They are an acquaintance. You have met them and introduced yourself. That's all. Okay? Is there one single word meaning of the art of war? I don't know what that means, Waleed. The word war has an old meaning, but the art of war, that's the name of a book from Chinese history. Aesthetic. I believe that's also Latin. Aesthetic so aesthetic is the spelling that you have is one spelling, but usually the spelling that we use in English has A-E. A-E is the first two letters, A-E-S-T-H-E-T-I-C. And the word aesthetic originally comes from German, Ästhetische, and then before that it was French, Esthétique, and then before that it was Greek, Aesthetikos, which it means for perception of the senses, perceptive, so something that you can perceive, to feel. Perceive means to feel, right? So if I say this movie has a certain aesthetic, it means a feel. It has a certain feeling. It gives you a certain feeling, okay? Now, aesthetics is about what does it look like? That's the aesthetics of something. But it means it's a combination of what does it look like and how does that make you feel. All right? So if I say it has a certain aesthetic quality, in this case it means something that makes you feel something, or it's about the looks of it because it makes you feel something. Okay? So what it means, if I say I like the aesthetics of this, it means I like how it looks. But aesthetics can be good or bad. I can say this movie has terrible aesthetics. All right? So aesthetic just means how it looks, or how it appears, or how it makes you feel because of how it looks. All right? You want a real simple one, like the word pal. Pal, I know, I remember that. Pal comes from an early gypsy language, Romani. So it comes from, it's like a Romanian, early Romanian, okay, Romani, gypsy language. And the word pal, in their language, it meant brother or comrade. So, yeah, the original meaning of pal comes from, it looks like it's earlier than that, too. Even from Sanskrit. Brata means brother, and that's where we get the word brother from. So the word brother is related to the word pal. It's kind of funny. Any other words? Give me another word. Tell me a word and I'll tell you where it comes from. Exotic. That's a good one. Exotic comes from French, exotique, and then before that it was from Latin, exoticus, and before that it was Greek, exotikos, meaning foreign. So it's interesting. The original meaning of the word exotic, it comes from the Greek word exotikos, meaning from the outside, from someplace else. So the word exotic, it's the word we used to use before foreign. Foreign is a French word. Okay, so let's look. So the word exotic comes from the 1590s. The 1590s is when that word was created, but let's look on when was foreign created. Which one came first? Oh, foreign came first. So the word foreign comes from Latin. So, in the original Greek language, exotic means foreign. And in the original Latin language, they used the word foreign, foreignus, meaning from the outside. So they mean the same thing, actually. Originally, exotic and foreign both mean from outside, from someplace else. But the word exotic, now, when we say something is exotic, it means something from a foreign place, but you find it beautiful or interesting or intriguing or alluring, or you find it very, very interesting. So now the word exotic means both foreign and very interesting. Okay? Sometimes it also means rare, occasionally. Okay? The word strange. Strange comes from French, étranger. And then before that, it comes from Latin, extraneous. So the word strange is related to the word extraneous. Do you know the word extraneous? What does extraneous mean? Extraneous means not needed. It's from the outside. It's from someplace else and you don't need it. It's strange. So many things that come from outside, you don't understand them. So they are strange. They are extraneous. Okay? Thingamajig, Vera, thingamajig is a slang term. There are many languages that have a word like this. It's so funny. In English, we say thingamajig, and it just means something that you can't name. Something that has no name, or you don't remember the name, or you can't say the name, whatever. So I'm playing with this thingamajig. I don't know what it is. I can't remember what it's called, but it's a thingamajig. All right? But it's really funny because every language has a word like that. A word that means a thing that I can't remember the name of. Lure. Lure, the word lure, L-U-R-E, comes from the word allure. If something has allure, it means it's beautiful, it's attractive, it's something you want. So to lure you means this thing has allure. So for example, when you go fishing, that little fake fish that you use with the hooks on it, it's called a lure. Because the fish will chase it. The fish, they think it is alluring because it looks like a little fish. So alluring, allure, and the word lure are related. Does Zeus have a name, a meaning other than the name? I don't think so, but I'm not certain. In Greek, Zeus just means the supreme being. No, I don't think so. It means sky god, sky father. That's what it means, sky father. So suggest some uses of the word kick. Kick can be many things, but usually kick is when you use your leg or foot to hit something. That's kicking, right? So you kick a soccer ball, right? That's a kicking sport. Soccer, or you call football, right? That's a kicking sport. But you could say kick him out, and it's a figurative meaning. Like maybe somebody's behaving poorly here. They're misbehaving, so I will kick them out. Am I using my foot? No, but the idea is the same. Like I'm using my foot to kick you in the butt out the door. Okay? I get a kick out of that is a slang term. It's an old one, but if I say I really get a kick out of doing this, if I really get a kick out of that movie, I really get a kick out of, playing drums. I don't know. It means I have fun. I enjoy. Okay. Let's see. In Russian, you say crap, but is that an English word that you took to use in Russian, or is there a Russian word that means something that you can't remember, like the name of it? That's interesting, but we use that too. What's that crap over there? That means like something that you don't know the name of. Yeah, but crap is often an uncountable thing. Thingamajig is countable. Allegation. The word allegation is that's Latin. Allegation, allegation from the French, from the Latin allegationum, meaning allegatio, meaning to send or dispatch. Let me think. So let's see. Oh, so an allegation is to accuse someone of doing something wrong or doing something. Maybe not wrong, but to allege. To allege means I say he did this thing. Now I have to prove it. Anyone can say it. To say it is to allege. But now you have to prove it. So, if you say he's an alleged criminal, that means somebody thinks he is a criminal, a bad guy, but they haven't proven it yet. They didn't prove it yet. They just said it. Okay, that's to allege. So an allegation, if I say, what are the allegations against him? It means, what crimes do they think he did? What bad things do they think he did? What is he alleged to have done? Okay? What is that word? Co-national? Co-national, well, national means of nations, so something about a nation, right? Co-national, co means together or with. So anything that is co-national means something that two or more countries are doing together. It's co-national. Now, because it's co-national, I think it probably means only two, because we also have the word multinational. So if it's many countries, we'll say multinational. So I would think co-national only means two countries. Okay? Can I explain and search educate and instruct? Sure. Educate. Educate comes from Italian educare to Spanish educar to French educare to, or something like that. And then from the Latin educere, meaning to bring out or bring forth. So X, the ED in educate actually is EX, meaning out. Okay? and ducere meaning to lead. So, educate means to lead you out of the dark. You're in the dark. I'm going to lead you out of the dark. I'm going to educate you. Okay, that's what the word educate originally means. Instruct. Instruct, come on. Instruct comes from the Latin word instructus, meaning, or instruere, meaning to arrange or prepare or set in order. So, to instruct means to teach, but to teach, you must be organized. You have to have an order. You cannot teach if you have no order. So instruction comes from the idea that teaching should be ordered. Okay? To instruct, meaning to teach in a formal way. It comes from the word meaning to build. In meaning on, and struere meaning to build. So instruct means to build on, right? To build on something, right? But when you build on something, it should be in order. When you're building, you don't just put anything. You have to build in order, right? Okay? What's the difference with assumption and what? I'm sorry, Rahima. I'm not sure which word you were asking to compare it to. Assumption and what? Yeah, those are two good words, especially educate. Educate is a cool one because it means to lead you out of the darkness. That's cool. Come on. That's a cool image. I'm going to educate you. You're in the dark. Let me bring you to the light. So again, I'm not sure which other word you were talking about. What's the difference between assumption and what? I'm almost done with my coffee, guys, so I'm going to be done here very soon. Julia, are you talking to me about my day? My day, it's only 12:30 in the afternoon here, so my day is just half over. So far, it's fine. So far. Yeah, 2 hours. 2.5 hours. Yeah, usually I'm only here for an hour and a half. Am I tired? A little bit. Yeah, my mouth gets dry. But I like teaching. I love teaching. So, it's tiring. But it's tiring in a good way. When you do something you love, you have a lot of energy because you love it. But that does mean it takes energy. So it does tire you. But it's the difference between if you are running for your life, that's one kind of tired. But if you are running for fun, that's another kind of tired. Do you understand? If you run with your friend for fun, you're tired, but it's fun. If you run because a dog is chasing you, that's a different kind of tired. Yeah. Almost nonstop talking. I know, I told you, right? I told you. Somebody said he's in love with the sound of his own voice. And they're right. You're a psychologist. My father is a psychologist, Julia. And my entire life has been framed around psychology. And it's very useful as a teacher. It's a warm tired, yeah. So I always love teaching, but anything that you love, you give more. When you love it, you give more, right? You give more of yourself. So it drains you, you know? Yeah. All right, guys, on that note, I'm going to go, and I'm going to go have some lunch. I need to eat. I'm hungry. You think I know how to teach, especially because you love your job. I know how to teach, but I know how to teach because I understand how difficult it is to learn. I became a teacher because I was not a good student. I wanted to be a good student, but I couldn't be, and I didn't understand why. So I thought about it for many, 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 many years. And now I'm a teacher. It's funny how that works. So, I'm going to go, but I'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow. I love you tomorrow. You're only a day away. Come back tomorrow and see me. All right? Tell you about present perfect. Okay, I'll tell you what, Reem. I'm going to tell you about present perfect because I can do it quickly. All right? So please listen to me right now. All right? Reem, tell me what perfect means. What does the word perfect mean? Nobody else answer. I don't want to hear anybody else. I just want Reem to tell me what the word perfect means. Reem. What does perfect mean, Reem? Come on. Quack. It means good. That's what you think, and that's why you're confused. You're right. The word perfect does mean good sometimes. But when we're talking about grammar and tense, it does not mean good. It means finished. It means completed. So, from now on, I want you to forget the word perfect when you're talking about grammar. I want you to use the word completed. So, if I tell you that something is present completed, what do you think that means? If I did something that's present completed, what does that mean? Present means now. Completed means finished. So present completed things are things that you just finished now. That's what present completed means. So then, what does past perfect mean? Past perfect means past completed. Past completed. They're things that you did in the past and they finished in the past. Yeah. It's so much easier as soon as you forget the word perfect and just say the word completed. All right? Makes a lot more sense, doesn't it? All right? So there you go. That's present perfect. That's past perfect. Just say past completed and present completed. Okay? All right. I'm going to go. Have a good morning. Have a good afternoon. Have a good evening. And come back and see me again tomorrow. All right? Bye.